So I got to wait for another break. In the meantime, David in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Great to have you, sir, on the Open Line Friday. Hello.
Hi, Rush. Yesterday, I had to make the tough decision to close a small business, which I've been the owner-operator of for the past 8 years. And I heard the sound bites earlier, the president speaking of the improving economy. I guess I didn't get the memo till today. We've been hit pretty tough down here, and I don't know. I don't know what they're if they just are so separated from reality or what, but I don't feel an improving economy for sure.
Oh, they're not just separated from reality. They are living a different reality. They are projecting a different reality, and they're attempting to tell everybody else, like you, that your reality isn't real. So what kind of business did you have that you had to shut down?
Wholesale lighting. We dealt with residential builders, and we've watched it go down over the past few years. Here,
okay, well, let me ask you a quick question, because one thing Obama said yesterday when he's talking about the economy roaring back, and we got to keep it going. And one of the things he said, David, that he had to do to keep this recovery going was to eliminate the tax subsidies that the oil companies are getting. Now, would that help you if Obama raised taxes on big oil?
No, fuel's been one thing that's been killing us, but I look at the taxes on the pumps here when we fill up the trucks, and that's been killing us. So I don't see that happening. The regulation, the hoops that we have to jump through in small business are. So
just want to be clear. The president said yesterday that in order to help guys like you in your business, we've got to raise taxes on the oil companies. And you just said that wouldn't help you.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't see where that would help me now.
Yeah. Okay, well, I didn't think it would. In fact, raising taxes on the oil companies would probably raise your fuel prices.
I would. That's kind of the way business works.
Well, then you could be number 608 this year to go buy a Volt.
Yeah, well, I don't think we have too much luck delivering stuff to construction.
Well, I'm sorry to hear this, but I know this has to be. He said it this morning. I'm sorry. He said the oil company tax this morning. People like you all over the country, they're shutting their doors. That are shutting down. Some are not, and I don't mean to say that there aren't individual examples, pockets of examples, as nothing is static. In every economy, somebody is doing well when somebody's hurting. Not because it's not a causal relationship always. But my favorite example of this is the 70s. The price of oil plummeted so low that domestic producers in Louisiana and Texas had to cap their wells. They could not bring the oil out of the ground without losing a lot of money. Now, the consumer was benefiting like crazy with cheap gasoline prices. The domestic oil business was shut down in many states. And Shell Oil has announced losses in the billions because of Obama's moratorium on drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. And yet, we're told all this wonderful news is happening. All this wonderful economic news is happening. This great economic growth is taking place. And the evidence is not there to support that. Now, poor guy David, would cutting the payroll tax have helped save his business? No, it wouldn't have. He doesn't have customers. He's in the housing market. South Carolina, the unemployment rate there's 10.8% in South Carolina, above Obama's federal national average. I could ask this guy who shut his business, like I said, everything Obama has done, if he did it more, would it help you? And he'd answer no to every question. This employment number, and if you're just joining us, I want to give you the raw numbers again. In December, there were 130 million people working. In January, there were 2.5 million fewer people working. Raw numbers, not seasonally adjusted. And I will admit, I don't understand the seasonal adjustment and how it's done. I don't understand the formula. I am not commenting on it. I'm not saying that it's ridiculous, that it's wrong, or it's anything. I just don't know it. I'm sorry, I got the numbers wrong. 132.9 million jobs in December, 130.4 million jobs in January. 2.5 million fewer jobs in January from December. The unemployment rate goes down from 8.5 to 8.3. The seasonal adjustment. This is what I don't understand. Maybe somebody from the BLS is out there can call it. Maybe the Hutch will know when he calls us to talk Super Bowl. I don't know how you go from 132.9 million people working in December to 130.4 million people working in January. That's a loss of 2.5 million jobs. I don't know how you get from that to an increase of 233,000 jobs after the seasonal adjustment. I just don't know. I will also, this is the first time that I have been directed to and seen Table B1 in the release that comes out every month from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that mentions these raw numbers. We've talked raw numbers, but I've actually seen the numbers, but not in this context. We have mentioned the number of jobs lost in terms of the universe, the labor force participation rate, but this is the first time in the discussion of the monthly unemployment numbers that I have seen anything like this. I have never, it probably happens all the time, and I just don't understand seasonal adjusting. But no, I don't. I really don't, because the seasonal adjustment is a time-honored, proven, and established, accepted way of reporting and measuring unemployment. I just don't understand it. I need to see a definition of what seasonal adjustment actually means. You got to know that before you can understand the math behind it. But just plain, simple math. I don't understand how you lose 2.5 million jobs in a month, and in the same month, the government says there was, after seasonal adjustment, a 233,000 increase in jobs. Now, what we do know about the 233,000 jobs, we do know that most of them are low paying. And what we also know from these two sets of numbers is that the unemployment rate from 8.5 to 8.3 does not mean businesses are hiring. It means that fewer people are in the workforce. That's what it means. In fact, these two numbers are not the only numbers. I know numbers can run together on the radio. Let me go through this again. In January, the number of people working, a number of jobs, was 132.9 million. In December, January it was 130.4. So that's a difference of 2.5 million jobs lost. Now, the BLS also admits that the labor force participation rate dropped by 1.2 million jobs from December to January. So you've got 2.5 million fewer jobs, and out of that 2.5 million, 1.2 million of them are said to be gone forever. The labor force participation rate, just the number, they're out of the market. So there's three numbers here. 132.9, 130.4 equals 2.5 million, and then 1.2 million, both negative. And yet you end up with 233,000 jobs added, according to the regime. Got to take a break. Sit tight. We're back before you know it.